Hey friends, it's Hope, and today I am here to do my May wrap-up and my June TBR. It feels so good to be back. I have been in the worst year-long reading slump, but in May I read 5 books, so yay! I'm so excited about that. So now I can sit down and film some book videos. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read in the month of May was Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes. This is book 4 in this series, and if you guys haven't checked it out and you love YA fantasy, I highly recommend. I just adore these cast of characters, even though I don't particularly love all the characters because they're evil and wicked. I think they make some great antagonists. If you guys have been around my channel for a hot minute, you know how much I love some swoon-worthy characters, and this series gives us those swoon-worthy characters. But because this is the 4th book in this series, I can't really tell you that much, other than the fact that I really adored it. I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the action, I loved the plot twists, I loved the romance. It was just so good. 5 out of 5 stars for Frozen Tides. On recommendation from some of my girlfriends and one of my coworkers who actually gifted me this book because she had read it, didn't really want it anymore, I read The Husband's Secret. I have heard so many things about this book, never read anything by this author, but I recently watched Big Little Lies, the HBO miniseries with my girlfriend Danielle, and we really liked it. So after watching that, I figured I might as well give this book a go. This book also follows multiple characters, but one in particular. At the very beginning of the book, she finds a letter from her husband, who is still alive. I made that mistake when I was talking about this book in my most recent book haul. He is still alive, but she finds a letter, and I believe like on the envelope or whatever it says, you know, read this when I'm dead. But she finds it and he's still alive. So of course, intrigue, she wants to know what is in that letter. And like I said, there are multiple points of views. We have a lot of characters in this book, and the contents in that letter link all these women together. And woo, it was fascinating. I really loved it. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I started reading something with a totally different genre. I started reading Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I also ended up rating this a 4 out of 5 stars. I did a non-spoiler book review for this book, so I'm going to link that down below in the description box if you guys want to see what it is all about. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Then the next book I read, I jumped on that bandwagon and read A Court of Wings and Ruin. And on Goodreads, I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite out of the 3. I really loved books 1 and 2. This one just felt a teeny bit flat to me, and I felt like some of the characters' progression in this book was really forced. If you guys have read this book, you probably know what I'm talking about. The characters are still super memorable to me. 2 of these characters actually got my best female and male characters in my best in books video that you guys will see in a few days. But I love the action in this book. Of course, I love Rise so much. I love the story, and ooh, there was some really great fight scenes in this book. So gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The last book that I read in the month of May is It Happens All the Time, and this book I rated a 3 out of 5 stars. Probably would bump it up to a 3.5 out of 5 on Goodreads if I could. But yeah, this book was definitely the most serious book that I read in the month of May. We follow 2 characters, and it tells a story between sexual assault and consent. One of our characters believes that she has been sexually assaulted, while our other character believes that it was fully consent and he did nothing wrong. This was a very interesting book to read because as a reader you are thinking, oh my gosh, like what really did happen? There was a very gray line through most of this book. With that said, this is the first book where I was like teeter-tottering back and forth with each character because the author did such a beautiful job with telling both sides of the story, and I do believe that I read like in the author's note that she was actually a victim of sexual assault, and I think that it said like her editor really encouraged her to write both sides of the story. But at the same time, I felt this story was a little slow, but it also felt like a lot of it was pretty surface level. I wanted it to go a little bit deeper and give me more of that punch. It did make me tear up though, so that is why I would give it a 3.5 instead of just a 3, because I want to give it that extra half star for making me just feel empathetic and feel the pain and the fear and the confusion that all these characters were feeling. Those are all the books that I read in the month of May. It was a really great month. So let's just talk about the 3 books that I'm going to try and attempt to read in June. The first one I'm about halfway through, and it is Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. I found this at my local dollar store, so it was not $14.99, it was actually $1. I've been reading this at the pool. This story revolves around a woman who has been sentenced to death because they believe she has committed murders. And before she gets executed, she is sent to live with this family and help them around the house and the farm, do all these chores. And the more and more time the family spends with her, they start to see a different side of our character. So it's been very interesting so far. I can't wait to see what happens. Is she gonna be put to death? Is she not? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. The next 2 books I have for you, I'm thinking about reading them because I'm going to the beach soon, and I love bringing a floppy paperback to the beach. And the first is The Rosie Effect, which is the sequel to The Rosie Project. I started reading it, like you can see. Let's see. I am on chapter 3. I'm 15 pages in. I think I started reading this book last summer, but obviously never finished it. And the next one that I have, like I said, I'm pretty sure I was planning on bringing this to the beach last summer to read it, and I never did. And that is Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. I adore this cover. It looks so beautiful. I can't really remember what it's about. It looks like it takes place on an Italian coastline back in 1962. When a daydreaming young innkeeper looks out over the water and spies a mysterious woman approaching him on a boat. Jess Walter's Beautiful Ruins is a dazzling yet deeply human roller coaster of a novel. Alright, so we will see if I get to this, but yeah. These are the 2 books that I'm planning on taking to the beach. Alright friends, well that does it for my May wrap up and my June TBR. Let me know down below what you guys are reading in the month of June. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and like always, I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye!